No one knows me. No one knows the 12-year-old me that was embarrassing.
It feels gut-wrenching to leave.
Doesn't it get so repetitive that it's the same thing over and over?
It doesn't get easier.
I'm actually like really scared about that for moving.
I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. I am Mahdia.
And I'm Avani.
Welcome to the 4th episode of Passports and People. Today's episode is gonna hit a bit, I feel like it's hitting a bit too close to home. I honestly wasn't sure how to talk about this, and I was sitting before this and I was like, okay, I need to get my thoughts in order. And it's like this topic already, I find like in my personal life, I can't really put it into words. So then maybe this episode will help me, kind of grasp the feeling.
This week is Goodbyes Hurt. Obviously, this is a very common experience for a lot of international students. I myself can't relate to the same extent that Madhya can, but I think it's a really important topic where we do talk about how people do have to leave at one point if they're an international student or they see their friends leaving who are international students. And like it really does take a mental toll and emotional toll on a person.
And it's good that you haven't necessarily experienced it yet. You will experience it in your life, right? You said that the university you want to go to is like in a different state, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so you can kind of help me tell them what someone who hasn't moved yet wants to know, which is good. Because to me, I feel like, because I've moved so many times now, it's kind of common sense to me. It's like very normal. I don't
Hmm.
give it a second thought. But then, like, to people who haven't actually moved yet, it's like, oh, I didn't know I have to do that, or like I have to think about that. So that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As someone who does like want to move, I do have a lot of fears, and I think it's really important that this is like a great place for people like me to ask their
Oh,
fears
that's
to
good.
someone
Yeah.
who
So you
has moved
should
and find
definitely,
out.
we should talk about that. You should get a bit vulnerable. I definitely am feeling a bit like icky about this episode, especially because I leave now in less than a week. So it's creeping
Mm,
up on me again.
it's okay. I'm sure we'll do great. Okay.
Yeah, wait, actually, I wanted to say, based on last week's episode, I said we were talking about friends, right? And how you kind of only need that one person to help you feel at home and everything. And I told everyone that even if you try to make a friendship work, only the universe will be like the true decider of whether or not like the friendship will become better and stronger. And I said that I had one person in mind of someone who I wanted to build a friendship with. That girl actually texted me yesterday. See, the universe is like doing me a favor. And she messaged me and she was like, when are you coming back? Like, we gotta hang out. We have to do this and this and
Oh,
this. And like, I got my license. And so I'm feeling way
that's so
more,
sweet.
I'm feeling way
See,
more
you should
relieved.
like be happy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, you can like it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. I promise you.
Yeah, and that's one of the feelings that I wanted to talk about. And the
Yeah.
reason why I said that it's so difficult to put it into words is
Mm.
because it feels gut wrenching to leave. Like when I think that Monday morning, I'm not gonna be in this room, I'm not gonna be like in this country anymore, it feels gut wrenching. But then I'm like so excited because I know that I'm gonna
Mm.
have so much fun and so many new experiences.
Yeah.
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 So just wanted to give an
Okay.
update. The girl actually likes me,
Yeah.
so at least I'm heading in the right direction.
I'm sure you've got this. Like I don't think it's gonna be too hard for you. Like it is gonna be hard, but like you're the sort of person who will like do well in any situation that they're
Yeah. And
given.
this is like,
Like you've proved it with this podcast. You've put in so much effort. I think you're gonna do
aw,
well.
thank you. This is the third time I'm going back to South Africa. So like third time's a charm, right?
Mm.
Third time's a
Yeah,
charm.
exactly.
It should be it should be better.
So something I kind of like am like wondering about because I am gonna move out eventually is what about all the people who I'm leaving behind and like what if I lose connection with them such as friends or I become more distant from people like family?
This is something that we spoke about a bit in last week's episode as well, about how just because you're moving, that doesn't mean these friendships and these relationships have to die. This is a fear that I don't think I've dealt with family. Just because I moved when I was so young, my friends have always been my family. The losing connection bit is really difficult. And the best thing that I have to say is you just gotta communicate with them. You gotta have like a serious, even if you're young, even if it's like so small and like this is something that you all knew was bound to happen. You need to talk to them and be like, okay, listen, I'm feeling slightly scared. We're gonna lose contact. Even if it's a friendship that you're so strong for, you need to be vulnerable with them, because if you're not vulnerable with them now in person, when you're online, it's gonna be so much more difficult to have these conversations. It's so much easier to see them face to face. You read their body language, their social cues. When you're online, having the harder conversations is gonna be so much harder. So you need to make sure that you like have a solid base and a solid ground before you leave.
What about like the fact that people do end up leaving, like get lose people in your life because of the amount of times you do move? Doesn't it get like really tiring and repetitive for you?
Yeah, it doesn't get easier. It doesn't get easier. The feeling of it doesn't get easier. The way that you deal with it gets easier. And I have a few points of ways that you can sort of help yourself when you do move, to kind of distract you and like so that you're not kind of sorrowing and being sad in the idea of, oh my gosh, like I left. But people are gonna leave, and that's happened so much with me, so many times with me now. I'll text a friend for something who I was so close with like 5 years ago, and it's like I'm talking to a complete stranger, and it does hurt, but you learn to deal with it. Like I said, the feeling of that feeling never goes away. That feeling never gets easier, but the way that you react, I think that's important. The way that you react, and the way that you regulate your emotions towards the situation is even more important, and that does get easier.
What are some ways that you deal with having to move or seeing your friends move so much?
So something that I only learned to do now, and this is like why I'm so happy that that girl messaged me. I was gonna message her when I land. I didn't want to be like nitpicky and like naggy, like messaging her like, "Oh, I'm flying on Monday. Like we should definitely meet up. Let me know when you're free." So one of the reasons why I'm so glad she messaged me is because I already started establishing a routine and a bit of a life that I'll have as soon as I land. Now, obviously it's different for say you're going to another country for university. It's a bit different to start preparing your life there, but especially now, like how we talked about online friends and stuff, there's so many communities online that you can join within your university. There's so many people who you can try and find who are gonna be joining the same classes as you online while you're like at home. So the biggest thing I'm doing now is I'm getting myself ready to do things in South Africa when I land. So like my iBox, I messaged my boxing instructor a week ago and I was like, "Hi, like I'm gonna be coming back. Like what time's class?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm so excited." Like and gave me all the details. So at least like as soon as I get there, I already have an outing. I already have socializing that I can do. You know.
So kind of like integrating yourself into the place before you're there so you can find community and you don't feel lonely.
Yeah, finding and establishing a small routine. It doesn't have to be something big, just a small thing that you're like, okay, as soon as, even like a bucket list. If you are moving to a country that you've never been to before, if you create like a bucket list of things that like you want to see and you want to do that. Create a bucket list. As soon as you get there, don't like, even with the podcast, I was thinking, should we record another episode tomorrow? Because next week is like my first week there. Do I want to wind down? Now I'm like, no, I just need to jump into it. I just need to do it. Not only will it be helpful this week, we're not like recording two episodes at like so much, but it's okay. I just need to know I'm not going to give myself a week to like do nothing, because then I'm just going to be sad. I'm just going to be thinking about the fact that I'm not there. So I'm just gonna like just throw yourself into activities, throw yourself into things that you want to do. Start that small routine.
What about the fact that you have to keep forming new connections with other people? Doesn't it get so repetitive that it's the same thing over and over, and it's like watching a broken tape record play again, again, and again and again?
Yeah, at first it can be quite fun, being able to start like a new life, you being able to sort of improve yourself and like you have a fresh start and new people. But now I'm 18. I'm sort of tired of it. When I came to Malaysia, that was my initial thought 2 years ago. That was my thought. I was like, okay, cool. Like, I can not recreate myself, not like reset my personality or anything, but like make better impressions, like, show who I truly am. I'm able to do more, like, without people having like previous judgments or previous ideas of me. But now it is getting quite repetitive. I'm 18. I'm like, not that I'm that old, but I'm tired of the hi, how are you? What's your favorite color? Like, where are you from? Like the base questions. Like, I'm low-key dreading that, but that's something that's gonna come to me when I go to university. I'm still lucky now that I'm going home with people who like already know me. So that part, what do you think about that part? When you think about like having to go back, having to move to university in a that different state and like start again. What's your thoughts on it?
See, actually, I feel like I'm really excited for that aspect that like because no
Yeah,
one knows
see,
me,
yeah,
no
yeah,
one
yeah,
knows the
exactly.
12-year-old me that was embarrassing. I get to have like a whole new like outlook on people because me right now, I'm happy with me right now. But back when I was 12, I was the cringiest person ever. I think most people would agree with that. Moving to another state kind of gives me that opportunity to really like, establish myself with everyone, be able to form maybe even stronger bonds than what I have with people because here it might have been rocky because of other stuff that's happened. And I feel like it's a great new start. And because I haven't had to move that much, I feel like I don't really know the repetitiveness of asking people, oh, what's your name? What's your favorite color thing yet? So I'm kind of looking forward to it. Probably like the same stage you were at with Malaysia
Yeah, yeah.
2 years
See, that's
ago.
another thing to be excited for. Even though you're leaving your friends at home, the people that you're gonna meet are gonna be incredible. Like, you
Mm,
really be surprised, and I don't think you don't know how incredible they're gonna be until you actually meet them. Like, I don't think there's any way to
mm,
actually properly grasp the type of people from the different type of
yeah.
places you're gonna meet. That's another good thing, that if you are
Mm,
leaving, have that excitement of, oh, I'm gonna meet new people, and that's like something that's holding on to
mm,
me. Like, I'm definitely in the next like 6 months or however long I'm in South Africa for my gap year, I'm gonna get
mm,
reattached to the place, I'm gonna get reattached to the people. But then when I apply to
mm,
uni, when I go to uni, I'm gonna have that idea of, okay, cool, I get to go back to
yeah.
international students, I get to go back to like my people, sort of,
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, here's another thing that I've like been really like scared of. The fact that everyone in that place might already have their friendship groups, their circles, their communities, and you're kind of just there as the outsider and you feel really like left behind from everyone. You just don't fit in because you're not exactly there from the start, you know?
Yeah, that's again kind of links in with last week's. And this is exactly what I'm going through when I go home next week, because everyone grew up together, everyone already has their friends. That's why, like I said, start small. Don't start thinking don't overthink. That's a big thing, and that's so difficult, I think, in this generation also. We overthink and overanalyze everything. Just start small, one day at a time, one step at a time, one person at a time. And then you'll slowly start to curate your own group of friends again, especially because you haven't been there. It's a new, fresh start. Everybody likes new things, okay? In like most of the teenage movies, there's always that one new kid, you know what I mean? All of our
Hmm.
rom-coms, it's like everyone likes something new, and everyone's interested in the new person, in the new thing.
Mm.
So you have that advantage to you in like,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Um, Yeah, I'm actually like really scared about that for moving. Like the fact that everyone has grown up in that state and me moving to that state means I'm with people who have gone to university in that state because they grew up there and I'm kind
Yeah,
of just like
but
there.
think
Yeah.
about it in like, they all grew up with each other. They all know everything about each other already. You're this new interesting thing. You're this new interesting person who like nobody knows. No, like people are way kinder than I think sometimes we give them credit for. And sometimes people are meaner in the sense of like, new person, we don't want to talk to her, we don't want anything to do with her. But
Mm,
like, you'll always find that one person who's like, ooh, a new person. Like,
mm,
especially like for me, I have been that person. And so I
Mm,
know how it feels to be the outside. There's always one
mm,
person who's experienced it before, and so because of that, they will make an effort to include you. They will make an effort to make you feel better and like you're not stepping into this world that isn't yours. So
mm.
like, yeah.
Another thing is, it can be a lot harder when you're going into university, just generally, like, because you don't necessarily talk, at least in the way Australia works, you don't talk to everybody in your lectures. You don't meet everybody that's in the same, like, year group as you.
Yeah.
So you really have to step out and go to clubs and communities and do your part to try and integrate yourself, kind of like what we talked about last week. What about saying goodbye to the people that you're leaving behind? Like, because you're probably not going to see them for a very long time. Does that, like, how do you deal with that kind of, like, pain?
I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
Mhm.
I'm such an emotional person. I don't understand how my brothers do it. Like they just get up. Like my brothers have moved the same amount of times that I have, and they are so much more emotionally stable than I am. It really just depends. It really depends on who you are as a person. I feel like it's slightly easier for guys because they are less emotional, but I get so emotional and it really creeps up on you. Even like the quiet moments, it'll be like 1 a.m. and I'm watching TV and it just like I press pause and I just like look around and I'm like, damn, I should like capture this moment because I'm leaving in a week. That's like how sentimental and how emotional I get. That feeling of saying goodbye really doesn't get easier. And I honestly, I don't have any true advice on how to make that feeling easier other than try and keep contact with the people. That's the only way you're gonna feel connected to this still state. That's the only way you're still gonna feel connected to the place. I'm like making such an effort to like even just like their stories, reply to their stories, like even like my schoolmates who we don't really have an online relationship. We became really close friends, but like we don't really text each other. We don't really message each other, but now it's like I have to try and make a bit of an effort on that lane. And like I said, we said it's a two-way street, right? They got to put in the effort as well. So if your friends care about you truly and they were good people, then they will stay in your life because if they see that you're putting effort, then automatically they will start putting effort as well. But the saying goodbye, I really, if anyone wants to help me out, I haven't cracked the code yet. Every single time I leave, it's difficult. Even when I go to South Africa for 2 weeks and I'm like, this is my home. I know I'm coming back here in a few months. I will still cry my eyes out. I will like get like chest ache, like heartache because I find it so difficult.
So would you kind of say that the goodbyes kind of, like, make you value the moments better that you have?
Yes, 100%. When you know that you're leaving, you make so many better memories. You put so much more effort into going out and having fun with your friends. The last month of June, the best month over the past 2 years. Why? Because my friend group, we all knew we were leaving. We all knew this is the last moment we were gonna have each other with each other. We did so much, and every time we did something, whether it was a barbecue, whether we went swimming, we would be like, "Damn, we should have done this entire year. Like, why haven't we been doing this like every other weekend?" You the fact that you're leaving, you get so much closer to the people that you are close to, family and friends, and everybody. You'll see everyone will make an effort. Everybody starts becoming more vulnerable and more caring because they know, oh, in a month, I'm not going to see you guys. So that's a big benefit. Like, I'm going home and I find the people in my hometown slightly boring. No offense to anyone, not that anyone's actually going to see this, but now that I'm realizing the reason that they do the same thing every day, they have their routine, they like hang out with friends sometimes. But the reason that I find that boring is because I'm so used to making the most of every single moment with the people that I'm with. And they're just not used to that because they know, oh, I'm going to see the same people next year. I'm going to see the same people in a month. You know what I mean? Because they love the same routines every day.
Mm. How would you, like, hold on to the people after you leave or they leave in general?
What do you mean by hold on? Like, how do I keep that online
Like,
connection? Or
yeah, because what if you're trying to talk to someone, but then they don't respond to you, or like you're the only one trying to talk to them, but you do want to keep that relationship with them?
if you're close to them, again, you just gotta approach it head on. You gotta tell them if you aren't that close to them, or if you guys, or if they're the type of closed off person, because there are the type of people who like don't necessarily like to communicate. They'd rather just cut you off if they have a problem, or if like they don't want to talk to you or see you anymore. So if you can't communicate with them, then you just gotta keep trying. If they still seem dry, if they still seem like they don't want it, you just have to slowly start to deal with the fact that you've lost them. You have to deal with the fact that you guys aren't gonna be as close as it is. That's honestly, you just have to deal. There's nothing more that you can do, you know. You can't like harass them and like keep calling them and like piss them off because, or annoy them because you like want to keep the friendship so badly. So if you can't communicate with them, you just have to deal with it. If you feel like you can, then you just gotta tell them. You just gotta head on tell them. And most of the time it's nothing. Most of the time they're like really busy, like really don't have any time to like talk to you or message you. So yeah, just communicate. That's like my I have like a few like phrases and things in life where I like tell everyone, and I'm like, guys, like just do this. Communicating is one of them. Just communicate, just talk, just talk. The amount of problems that can be solved in this world by just communicating all my days.
I feel like there's a lot more to that than just that, but yeah. Like the it's communication, it can go more than just friendships, but yeah.
Yes.
Um, what about like what kind of mindset do you have when it comes to leaving and meeting new people, but also having to say bye?
It's a very confusing feeling. It's very two ways. Um,
Mhm.
because I'm excited to go and see and meet these new people, but now I have to say goodbye to these other people. And
Mhm.
what makes it helpful is that I try and keep the old people so involved in my life. I make it an effort to kind of merge, my lives
Mhm.
together. I make it an effort to tell my new friends, the new people that I meet, about my other friends, my old friends, even if they have no idea who these new people are. They like not their friends,
Mhm.
they don't follow them on Instagram or any social media. I make it an effort to try and connect it, because later you will see that by talking about your old friends to your new friends and your new friends to your old friends, you'll find that they start to care. They'll be like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
how are they doing? Or like, they'll just, it makes them feel more included in your life. It makes your life
Mhm.
feel more normal instead of just two separate worlds. Okay, I have these friends, I have these friends. They not like, it's the same as if you would have two friend groups, and you're trying to like juggle the
Mhm.
two friend groups of like going back and forth, and like they don't really know each other, so just trying to merge your life into one. Like my friends know who my family is, my family know who my friends are. Like just try and keep like open
Mhm.
relationships with like, oh yeah, I met this new person, and like, oh yeah, my old friend like likes that as well, like you should follow them. That's something that I've done, that like even
Mhm.
just by like getting your friends to follow each other on Instagram, you will see your life
Mhm.
becomes like so much more, it gets so much easier because it just feels
Mhm.
more normal instead of the two split
Mhm.
worlds, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does make sense. Um, so would you kind of say like I don't know how to phrase this one, the international student mindset of building a global community?
Yes, exactly. You just gotta like, you gotta build your own uh community in your life, even if it's like, they barely know each other. That's a, yeah, that's a good way, I guess, to say you got to build yourself a little community, even if it's like from different ends of the world. That's like the best thing to do. Yeah. So as someone who hasn't moved yet, like say like, okay, let me put you into like the shoes of people back home. Say you have like this international student coming, um okay, yeah, why don't you put yourself into like the shoes of the people that you're scared of? Like you said, you're scared of coming to this new state with like people that have their own friend groups. If someone were to come to your state, to your university, to your school, first time, like how would you deal with that? Like what's your mindset towards it?
Honestly, I would be so curious, like, because
Yeah,
I'm the sort of
exactly.
person that would go and yeah, no, I'm the sort of person who would go and like ask about it. But I've also been met like when you moved around, like I moved between schools, obviously not between like countries or anything, but I've been met with hostility because they've already got their friend groups. And maybe it's a maturity thing where when you're older, people do want to learn more about you. But like I've always found it fascinating, maybe because I've wanted to move like before, and it's just something where I can get experiences and learn about people. So yeah.
It does come with maturity. I hope it does. Because if it doesn't, then going home this time is gonna be more difficult. But like, I don't know. As you get older, you realize that like not necessarily networking, but like getting to know as many people as you can and like speaking to as many people as you can is like the biggest advantage you can give yourself. Like you learn so much from other people, and maybe I really hope it's a maturity thing. I really hope it's an age thing. But yeah, they are not everyone's going to be friendly, not everyone's going to be curious. Most people, especially if they're like, content and happy with how their life is, or like aren't, or like not that they don't have goals, but like people who are kind of stuck where they are and aren't curious about like change, or people who don't like change. That's a good thing. People who don't really like change, they might be the colder ones and like won't really want to talk to you, won't really want to introduce themselves to you. But then there are the people like yourself. You see, you said you're nervous about leaving, but then I'm sure there's someone exactly like you in that state who will come up to you like first day, like, oh my gosh, like you're from here, like, tell me about it, Yeah.
Okay, so there's like rivalry between the states and Australia, just a little bit.
No
And
way.
because I'm from New South Wales, and that is like Sydney, which is like so we say, and we totally go for it.
Yeah,
We should have been the
yeah,
capital, like city, right? We should have
right.
been the capital, but we're not. Then they build a whole new little state within our state and call it the capital. Now, here's the thing: I want to move to the capital, right? The capital territory, which is a state. Now they're gonna see that I'm from the Sydney, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, so you don't think we should have been the capital, huh?" And like, yeah, because you guys are ripoffs, but it's okay. It's okay. It's
You
for
see, it's
opportunities.
it's similar for me. South Africans as well. I feel like the towns within okay, not only Johannesburg, the towns with
Mhm.
like the towns, bro, not even the cities, the towns are at rivalry.
Mhm.
Like my town
Okay.
is not. I don't live in South Africa. I don't know the beef. I don't know like what
Mhm.
people actually say
The
about it.
beef.
But from what people have told me, like from what my South Africa friends have told me, who don't love, like my friends who aren't don't live in my town, apparently my town is like
Mhm.
the worst town. The
Oh,
people like
oh,
apparently
oh.
my town is like, I don't want to get into too much detail, but like the South African teens within my town are like the worst ones. And so I've had the similar thing where people are like, "Oh, you're from that town." Like, nah, bro, like I'm not gonna talk to you. There's like no point. And then like I'm lucky though, because I can be
They've
like, "Oh
said
no, no, no."
that?
Yeah, bro, there are people who literally will like completely judge me from the fact that I'm from that town. And I'm lucky enough because I can be like, oh no, 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 I didn't grow up there. I'm an international student. I like spent 8 years of my
Mm,
life there. That's it. Like I didn't grow up there. Like I'm from the
mhm,
town, but I'm not
mhm.
from the town. But you are like openly like, yeah, we should have been the better state. So like that, I don't know, because I can still defend myself and get them to like
Mhm,
me because I'm like I'm an international student. But like,
mm.
damn. So how do you think you're gonna overcome that one? Because I have my, oh my alarm. I have the I'm an international student card. You don't have that. You're leaning into the disagreement.
See, I'm gonna say, well, I moved here anyway, didn't I?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it was my choice to move here, and I still moved here, just
Yeah,
because
that's
I
a
think Sydney's better.
I didn't know that about Australia.
You learn new things every day.
Yeah, a bit more advice on, like I said, having a quick routine, building your routine before you leave so that it doesn't feel like a complete, like, oh my gosh. Because when you get there, you're going to feel so overwhelmed. You don't think you're going to feel so overwhelmed. Like, I'm a type A person. I have my schedules, I have my lists, I'm very organized. But even if you are so organized, when you get there, you're going to feel so overwhelmed. And so if you have that list of things that you want to do, people you want to see, then it makes it easier, because you have that routine. And then another thing is just be kind to yourself, be easy on yourself, be patient with yourself. It's okay to not feel okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to cry. It's okay to like take a few days to like accept it. And honestly, getting it out is just, it's the best thing. Like, I when I feel like that and I like cry it out, that I feel so much better. So like, I know the first couple of days when I get home, I'm gonna like need to like just like stay within myself and like, okay, I can do this, like, so it's okay to grieve a little bit. It's okay to be sad for a little bit. Just don't fall into being sad. Don't don't make it a thing that lasts for weeks or for months. Like, take a few days, not even a few weeks, take a few days. I feel that people who aren't international students don't really understand what it's like to start over again, you know
Mhm.
um so is someone, because like, I feel like I'm a bit too mean to people at home, and I don't give them enough benefit of the doubt for the
Mhm.
fact that I'm like, you guys don't understand, like, so as someone who is an international student, what does that understanding look to you? Give me a bit of that insight. Help
See,
me
I think
understand so
everyone
I'm kinder when I go home.
See, I think everyone understands it to an extent because we all have to move, like we can't stay in the same place forever. No one's growing up and staying in the same school from
That's
primary
that's
to
where I
preschool
beg to
to
differ.
high
That's
school.
nah, dude. That's my town. No,
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 but like,
seriously. That's why they, primary school, they in that town, high school, they in that town. University, they go to uni like 30, 40 minutes away. They get married in that town. They have kids in that town. They are entire, like that's
hmm,
what I'm difficult with. So I guess you
okay,
can help me.
me. I had a very different upbringing. I've moved schools 3 times instead of just 2, like most people. I moved schools once, when I was in primary school and then once to high school. My primary schools were in pretty similar areas, but I knew no one in, like, where the primary schools were. When I moved to high school, it was, in a completely different area. I went from, like, Western Sydney to, like, Southwestern Sydney, and now I'm in a school where I didn't know anybody there except for, like, 4 people, but, like, I barely talked to them from my primary school anyway, so I didn't really talk to them. I had to make new friends all from the start. I missed my old friends so much, and for the first year, I think I struggled with the fact that I, like, missed so many of my friends from primary school, and I think we have like, similar experience to an extent, except it's not probably, like, the same in the sense that you guys move from country to country, so it's very different cultures as
But
well
it
because it's a
is,
similar culture here.
yeah, but it's still
Mhm.
like, culture is a whole different conversation. This is still like leaving friends.
Mhm.
You're still missing birthdays. You're like
Mhm.
having FOMO. You're missing get-togethers. You're missing weddings, and you're not
Mhm.
graduating together. And it's
Mhm.
like I was thinking that I already had my prom. I already had my graduation. But it's like my friends aren't graduated yet because their year is like yours is from January to December. So in December they have what they call a
Mhm.
matric dance, which is basically like prom. And I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
already thinking, I feel like the night that they have that, I'm gonna be feeling a bit left out still. Even though I already had my
Mhm.
experiences, it's like, these are the, like,
Mhm.
in my eyes, it's like, life isn't fair. I know that. I've had all the great experiences I've had. I know that. But in my brain, I'm like, it's not fair. Why did they get to go to their prom, and why did they get to all graduate with the people they grew up together? Like, that's a feeling that I'll never get.
Mhm.
I will never understand how it feels to like your best friend who lives next door and you guys graduate together. I will never have that feeling. It's the
Mhm.
kids that you knew from like when you started school when you were like 5 6 years old, and now you guys are graduating together. It's such a huge life achievement. It's something that every child thinks about. I will never know what that feeling is. And so I know that like when the time comes, and it's even worse because I'll be in that town, I will be in the same
Mhm.
place that they are, and they'll be having these experiences, and I'm like, damn, I grew up with them also. Why can't I just have the same? Why can't I be with them right now? So I understand that it's the same.
Yeah. I can't say I relate to the fact of like that past aspect of it, because the people I have graduated with, they're the ones that I've built connections with, and we haven't had different timelines. So I've never felt like, oh, but they graduated after I did and stuff like that. But something I do relate to is the fact that my best friend and I won't be graduating together. We are both a
Yes.
year age difference, right? And if I move out, I'm still trying to figure out if I can come back and watch her graduation, because I don't know if she can watch mine. But like, it's just a really sad feeling because I don't have my best friend by my side while I'm graduating. She lives away from me. Um, but then again, I have all of these people that I did grow up with, and they are in my high school. They have been there since year seven, and now they're going to graduate with me in year 12 in 2 years' time, you know? So I kind of have that aspect of it, which I think you don't.
Unfortunately, no, yeah. But it is like you said, even if, your friend, your best friend, even if you guys can't graduate at the same time, you said that you might not even be able to be at each other's graduation. That hurts because you talk about this like when you growing up. My cousin, she's my best friend. She loves in Africa. And we used to say, "Oh no, we're definitely gonna be at each other's graduation." Like she's a year older than me, so we don't graduate at the same time. But we were like, "No, we're gonna be at each other's graduation. Like I am going to be there for like her prom." I'm like, didn't happen, and it's sad. It really, but again, it's just something you got to deal with, and that's why like how you asked me about, doesn't it feel a bit repetitive? This is why it feels repetitive, because it's like the feeling is repetitive, the feeling of, oh, even though like now, my friends that I met here, I was with them for 2 years, I'm now gonna have to go through the same pain and the same of, oh, I'm not gonna be with them during this, I'm not gonna be with them during this. I have to go through the same emotions over and over and over again, and so it can be quite emotionally draining. It's one of those things that like I'm still trying to like figure out how to navigate.
Hmm. I think something I'm really scared about for moving is like the fact that I might feel so isolated, because here I have so many friends, and there, if I don't make friends, it's the imposter syndrome, which every human being gets it. Like, it's impossible to not. The feeling that, oh, but like, I literally know nobody there, and I'll have to start from scratch. And what if the people there just don't like me? What if, because I'm someone from somewhere else and they've already got their friends, I feel so isolated? What if I can't even relate to what they have because they
Yes.
grew up so differently from how I did?
Yeah, that's exactly the way you summed that up. That is exactly how I feel when I go back to my
Mm,
town. Every single thing that you said is the same. But you said this in earlier episodes. You just have to take
mm,
that experience, because I can't sit here and tell you no, but you'll find that one person, like you'll figure it out. Sometimes that's not the case. And only say
mm,
that because that wasn't the case for me. I went 2 years with a positive outlook every day, being like, no, it can get better. It can get better. It didn't get better. You just have to take that
mm,
experience as a lesson. You have to take that, you have to use it as an opportunity and try and find the good in it. Everything that happens to us happens for a reason. And everything that
mhm.
happens to you, you're
Oh,
going to
that's
learn.
my line.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what you
That's
said
my
a few
line.
episodes ago. You said that every experience, you have to get something out of it. You need to realize that it's an opportunity for growth. And so if that does happen, maybe it's an opportunity to like learn how to be with yourself. I think that's so important as an international student, something that I like just figured out, that you have to be happy spending time with yourself, as like not sad as it sounds, but it's like, you have to learn how to have fun with yourself. You need to learn how to be content being by yourself. Leaving your friends and your family and having to say goodbye to your people and, human connection, such a beautiful thing. Having to lose that connection is so difficult. It's so gut wrenching. It's especially if you're an emotional person like me. If you're not an emotional person and you're like my brothers and you can just pack up and like leave and start an entire different life, I'm jealous of you. I envy you genuinely, dude. Are you like, you think you're like more of an
Actually,
emotional
no.
person?
I think I think I don't envy the people who aren't emotional about it, because I actually like, I think it's really important because if you're emotional, it means you really care. I'm not saying people who aren't
Yeah, yeah,
emotional
yeah.
don't care, but when you have emotions and you do care so much, that like the emotion only
Yeah,
comes because you care. And if you care about it, then it's a really good place. It's worth it, you know? It was worth it while you were there, which is why I don't think
yeah.
like it's
I
that bad to actually care.
I understand that, but I am like I'm so
Mm,
tired of feeling sad. I think that's
mm,
why I told you before this. I'm feeling a bit disconnected because I feel so drained. It's like this
mm,
stress and anxiety actually drains your energy so much. I've been
mm,
eating so much, and I texted my friend and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm like hungry every hour." And she's like, "It's probably the stress. It's probably the anxiety." And I'm like, "That is
mm.
so true." Like having these emotions, like you said, they have their benefits, but at this point I'm so tired of it. I'm like, so I just want I'm ready to leave now. It's so confusing because I'm like, I just want it to get over with, but I don't want it to get over with. I want to stay here as long as I can. I want to like, but I want to leave. I'm tired. I'm so tired. Like, yeah, takeaways.
I think as an international student, even though it can be hard for you to move and have to say goodbye to people, you have to think about what the bright side is, because if you only think about the negatives, the inevitable is going to happen. So you're just draining yourself and you're putting in energy in places that don't need to be put into. Instead, if you spend time on actually building routines, for example, getting integrated back into your community, finding friends from your the place you're going into, you actually end up sort of not, you kind of forget about missing the place you're moving from while you're planning things, and then you have things to look forward to when you actually move or just before you're about to move.
If you're an international student or if you're someone listening to this and you're leaving, it'll end up being okay. Everything that happens, again, my life motto, everything happens for a reason. You're gonna enjoy it,
That's
you're gonna
my
have
life
fun.
motto.
Really? Is
What?
it really?
You yes, you stealer.
No, I am older, so technically I realized this when I was like 15, 16. What age did
I
you
realized
realize
that.
that?
No, no, I realized that when I was in year 2, which means I was
Year two?
7 years
How
old.
self-aware are
Mhm.
you at year two? In year
Because my
two?
teacher was like, I was sad because I was leaving my teacher like to go to the next grade, and she was like, don't worry, everything happens for a reason. I've been living by that since year
No,
2,
but I don't like
since I was 7 years
change.
old, and I've been like, yeah, that's true, everything does happen for a reason, it does end up better. I am very self-aware, thank you very much. Honestly, yeah, I'm really bad with handling change too, but everything does happen for a reason, and I'm trying to live by that as well.
That can be like that's our podcast. That can be like our thing. Because we both believe in it so
Slogan.
greatly. Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
Except I'm the OG user.
Okay, Avani.
I'm the OG, guys, I'm the OG.
Okay. I hope this episode helped someone. I hope it gave. Did it give any clarity to you? Any
A little bit, yeah.
a little bit?
But it's stuff I've been subconsciously doing.
Yeah.
So, like,
But yeah, thank you so much for listening. It was a bit of a tougher episode, but it was good. Yeah. Bye.
bye.